Hey guys, it's Will. Hopefully you're having a great day today. In this one, we're going to go over some top stocks for tomorrow. How's everyone doing? Let me know. Comment down below if you have any ticker symbols you'd like us to look at today. So we jump in. Got the Santa hats. Got to get it. Don't normally have it here in Buenos Aires. We are staying a little bit longer than we're back to California as we are here for the remainder of the Christmas season. So I had to go get some nice Santa hats here as we're in Buenos Aires. They do celebrate here, it's just not as big. But how are you guys doing today? It's Monday, December 8th. We had a fairly good day in the market today. Things were green, portfolio was up. But how is everyone doing? And comment your ticker symbols down below and let's jump into it. And let me know what companies you guys are watching right now, which companies you have the most interest in. Feeders 94 says APLD working its way up. That's right. We do see the data center market fairly green today. So that's been good to see. So APLD have a pretty good week. Definitely seeing some green as they signed some recent deals with some major AI companies. And they also were validating some previous resistance levels as support as they were continuing up. Just looking at the technicals, you see them really continue up, finding this previous resistance level as a support here, and then finding a support and continuing up into their overall trend. And it's something we love to see. In fact, we've made some really good strides over in the Prophecy app this year. Towards the end of the year, it's very exciting as we pull up. Maybe my organization of my widgets isn't as good as some other users of the machine here, but definitely been searching up some stocks and we can get some AI analysis on APLD. Let's actually go with Claude and get things going here for APLD. What else are we watching today? All right, you guys, what do you think of Redwire today? Elvis says, I think Redwire has been pretty solid. I don't know exactly how they did today. The pattern has been consistent. They did start to reverse recently. And how are they doing for the most part? Let's see, after hours down just a little bit. Still holding above that $6.50 range. They did make a run up to $7. And you can see with Redwire, they've had a pretty consistent trend here from $5 a share continuing up into that $7 range. Let's see that previous resistance acting as a support right here today. The newest level of support is around 675 that they're looking to validate currently. All right. Yeah, it was great to see, our team actually added some new stuff this week over here in the analysis. Let's see, my loading, is it working? Here we are. It's almost still showing my loading symbol. But we were taking a look at APLD. You can see some of the projections fairly bullish from Claude, indicating some bullish momentum of over 18% and as high as 25% into the next year. I'm sorry, 72% increase. This might be the most bullish projection that we've seen from Claude, as they're projecting them to get up into that $55 range, APLD stock. So again, they're continuing that uptrend, that reversal. And then if you take a look at their greater uptrend, you can see, oh, that's Redwire. Hold on. Redwire is making a reversal. APLD stock has an overall uptrend, and they're making some strides currently to get back up into that $50 range. Currently, you can see they're at 32, and they've got this trend going for them, looking to target up into that $33 range. Yeah, Elvis, I think Redwire, for the most part, the defense market has seen more spending, especially after the big, beautiful bill. A lot of those stocks were fairly suppressed during the government shutdown as well. I need some chamomile tea. Hopefully that doesn't put me to sleep here on the stream, but Tammy made some, and I was like, yes, have to do that. And, Redwire, for the most part, they've had really favorable financials. One of the things that Benjamin Graham, the mentor of Warren Buffett, he's really big on is basically you want a stock that has a greater market cap, a smaller market cap than their total cash. And Redwire has that. They're at 1.13 billion, and we've been covering them for a while. They're up 28% this month, or this week, excuse me. And $100 million last quarter, along with their revenues up to 1.4 billion. Not revenue. Again, balance sheet is up to 1.4 billion in assets, which is greater than their current market cap. So that's always good to see. What else we got going? AK, what's going on? How are you doing today? Angel, what's going on? Good to see you here today. Angela. Let's see. Johnny, what's going on, Johnny? Hello to all. Love CTM contracts. Yeah, I was just looking inside of StockMate. I think I saw some interesting contracts from David. David's one of our StockMate members. He's been in there since earlier this year. This contract hasn't been announced on their website, but that they just recently got a new contract. And might as well go directly to the source rather than go on Reddit. Let's go check the truth here and have a look. And yeah, they just announced a contract today, actually, without a value placed on the contract, but that's okay. Looks like they're working with the Department of War electronic warfare programs, including Castellum Inc.'s JV partnerships, ongoing support, electronic warfare. We're prepared to accelerate innovation and provide resilient capabilities that enhance readiness and strengthen America's defense posture. Got it. Makes sense. And it's related to multi-domain defense systems. Interesting. That's a little more vague, and they don't have actual contract values on that announcement. So it's a little more kind of strange, that contract announcement. Normally they would say, you know, like they saw here, 66 million or 100 million, and they would say that. They didn't say that though. Nevertheless, the $100 million market cap company has been seeing some growth. And today, how are they doing today? I do have considerable position in CTM. How are they holding? Holding at $1.14. Okay, so they surged today from $1 back to $1.15. So this is what we're looking for. So far, we got about a 16% increase, but we're looking for about a 30% increase on CTM up to $1.30. Thanks for bringing that up. Yeah, again, I saw that in StockMate, and David is on top of it. He shares a lot of good news in StockMate. Along with some earnings, we got some earnings coming up. Oracle is releasing earnings Wednesday after hours. We're going to be watching there. But yeah, shout out to David. David, thank you for sharing that inside of StockMate. And also shout out to David. I've gotten to see his progress this year being a part of StockMate. And what I've found is that David literally doubled his account this year. He had 100% all-time returns in his account, and he grew it to, doubled it to 28,000. And then shortly after that, he once again doubled his account, or something like that. Got to look where it was, but shout out to David inside of StockMate. Thanks for that information, David. Appreciate you. Johnny, appreciate it. Thanks for tuning in. Johnny, always good to see you here. Because they are doing blockchain and AI. BK. Huh, interesting. I'm not sure about that company. I don't know what they do. Let's take a look. Do you mind if I start with their financials? Because that's where the magic comes. Bank of New York Mellon. Right, 5 billion revenue. Honestly, I'm not that big of a fan of this company. 40 billion in revenue. Yeah, or 40 billion in assets. Look at how much they have in liabilities. They're keeping it really tight on their liabilities. So I don't know. I don't invest in banks that often. Pretty rare. Pretty rare we invest in banks. Um, and honestly, I'm kind of a degenerate when it comes to investing in stocks of banks. Excuse me. But let me know if you they're getting into crypto or something. Okay. What I've found is um, I like defense companies and I like AI companies and on the cutting edge with like quantum and AI company or uh, space tech companies because I feel like the value that they're bringing to the world is really increasing over time, and I'd love to see that. Um, Banks, on the other hand, is slightly harder to gauge the value they're providing. Sometimes it's like in the form of loans or it's like financial instruments, and it can be kind of hard to gauge when they're providing real value, the banks. Got it. What's going on, Chetta? Good to see you here. JZev says, "Hey, Will, I just got the t-shirt. Thank you, brother. I greatly appreciate it." Yeah, of course, man. Glad you got your t-shirt, StockMate t-shirt. I'm not wearing it right now, but I was wearing it yesterday. I love my StockMate t-shirt. And we always send out new StockMate. We send out a t-shirt to every StockMate member. So if you are a StockMate member or you're a beta user of the Prophecy app, we actually send out a free t-shirt to you. It looks like JZev just received a free t-shirt as well. Shout out to him. So Ed says, I don't have my free t-shirt yet. Ooh, have to go grab that. Appreciate you guys. So thanks so much for all of the good insights. I've gotten so many good messages on Instagram, on, Facebook, even some emails recently from you all with some interesting plays in the stock market and a lot of really cutting edge companies coming out right now in the AI space that we've been able to bring to the front for everybody to see kind of as a result of all of you guys being involved. So thanks again. Appreciate you so much. All right, what else have we got going? BK. Thomas tuned in from Germany. What's going on? Will we see a year-end rally is the question. Most direction points to a rally right now. You are seeing a lot of companies start to continue their uptrends. Big Bear AI, one of those companies. It's funny, at this time last year, people were saying this is way overhyped, and it was right here at $2. This was when we entered actually at $2.80. And they all said the AI market's overhyped. This was in last year of December. The AI market's overhyped. It's too pumped up. Don't put your money in any AI stocks. It's going to be too all that made headlines last year. But what did we look at? Exactly what we looked at this year. You look at the earnings calls and you look at the financials and you listen to these companies that are making the biggest infrastructure moves in AI, and they're all stating that they're investing more in AI, that the revenue's increasing in sectors related to AI, and that the spending is going to increase. Now, they tell us the spending is going to increase. Then you go to the different companies that they're going to be spending money on, and let's say you invest in them, and then you see, oh, what do you know? They came in with more revenue, and they increased with more revenue because what do you know? Big tech was spending more, just like they said they would in their earnings. And we're here a year later, and everything is 5-10x up from where it was at this time last year. And even last year, things were up 5-10x, and people were saying, oh, it's overvalued. Happens a lot. So just realize a lot of the companies right now, they're all saying that they plan to spend more in the AI tech. So that's why we're, again, we cover the AI defense. We're going to be, saying, we're going to be focusing on these for sure. And I look forward to, innovating more with you guys and getting some good outlook. And Osato, what's going on? Redwire, yeah, we got to cover that one. We already did cover that one a little bit. We liked what they're doing. Again, their market cap's lower than their current financials in their assets. So that looks good. Ed says, I don't have the t-shirt. Okay, got it. AK says, I want to join. You want to join StockMate? Is that what you're saying? And then Ed says, I'm getting Mercatus for Christmas. So you guys are in the mode of investing or buying right now, huh? It's the Christmas. I'm totally the same way. We do have some offers for sure, but I would say if you're thinking about doing StockMate, which is like the community that we're kind of going over here, what used to be called Mercatus is now called the Prophecy app. It's here. And I use it for my analysis, for my projections, for different stocks. I can see even as soon as the next 4 hours, the next hour, and get projections on different companies, where they're going, according to the best AIs in the world. And if that's you, you are sitting there saying, I would like to know more about the companies I'm in. I'd like to get some better view of some top companies and use the best AIs in the world. Then you can get access. All you have to do is when you unlock the machine here, just also you can tune into our daily live trading sessions that we have Monday through Friday. And you also get a free t-shirt, all that good stuff. I could drop the link for you guys. I don't know if it's in the description. I think got to drop it here. And we got to go over some good companies today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I appreciate you all. AK says BBAI. For sure, man, for sure. We just covered this one today, actually. There you go. I just dropped the machine. So the machine actually includes 1 year access to this Prophecy app, previously known as Mercatus, currently kind of known on the inside as the machine, but it's called the Prophecy app. And yeah, you get full access for the year. So you get that along with a bonus of StockMate and a call with myself if you'd like to take me up on that. You might need more information. You might say, oh, whoa, what's with, the difference in price? Because it's about 3 times or twice, 3 times as much as StockMate. And so what you get is the 1 year access, all the models, along with a one-on-one call with me and 6 weeks of classes that we did related to investing in the virtual stock trading system. You get some other bonuses like unlimited access for as many generations as you want from different stocks. You could search up as many as you would like. And then you also can, obviously build your watch list, get them as big as you want. But ultimately, the goal is for you to have results. Right now, the price point difference gives you the advantage, and it's pretty fairly based on the value that you get. Again, like if you're just investing with $1,000, might not make a lot of sense to invest in something like the Prophecy app and start using AI for projections and this, because like even if you're right and you utilize the tools, you're still going to like not have enough leverage. But if your portfolio is anywhere over maybe it's more of a learning phase under 10,000, but if you're over $10,000 in your portfolio, then 1% here, 1% there, or a 5% trade, it's like $500, makes a lot of sense, and it also ties better for you as the machine has a guarantee that if you don't earn more than 500 in the first 30 days, you're eligible for a refund. So, all that good stuff. Links there if you'd like. Biggie says TSSI. Yeah, Biggie, you were there this morning, right? In our daily live trading session, because we were actually trading TSSI this morning. We're still in it actually currently. We just entered this morning. We saw them drop significantly. You can actually see this big significant drop from about $22 down to about $7.95, and then we entered in on TSSI looking for this recovery, and we just bought down here around $8.50 or $8.60, excuse me, and we're up about $87. Hasn't really moved much, but currently, as we got in right on this dip, we're actually anticipating this data center company to make a reversal and continue back up into levels around this $9.50 range to even higher potentially. So why is that? Why are we projecting that bullish momentum on TSSI? If you look at their financials, they looked fairly okay, not anything that really stood out, but their data center technology that they're doing, you could look at them, they're only $250 million market cap. They're doing about $300 million a year though, which is greater than their current market cap. And then they have more assets and liabilities as their assets are up 145%. And if you look at their website, it might look a little bit techy and kind of very highly technical. They talk about infrastructure, digital transformations, integrating computing infrastructure to meet the demand for AI. But essentially what it means is, a lot of what they do is they actually connect the computers inside of the data centers, and then they optimize them for the companies that are looking to operate their data centers. It's fairly high margins, fairly hard to do. I wouldn't be able to do something like that, connecting all the computers and everything. That would be really hard. So, it's not a thing that's really easy to do, and they specialize in that as their service, so they're fairly hard to replace. But large AI companies are needing their services in order to set up the data centers that they build. So for that reason, we're watching TSSI. I don't text says bear flag, wait for breakout confirmation. Yeah, I don't really wait for the breakout confirmation so much. I know. Will, but you're talking about the RSI and the MACD and the charts and the uptrends. But what I mean is, oftentimes what's more important is that you buy with a plan than buying a perfect dip or a perfect top. I don't know. It's like whenever I started investing around like 13 years old, right? I was all into the trading stuff, and I've done it for sure. And we do trade sometimes, but about 80% of our gains this year in getting our portfolio over triple digit percentage points here has been because we've not really focused on perfect entries and perfect exits. Because how many times this year would a AI stock reach really high point and everybody's saying like, oh, it's going to correct back down, and then what did it do? It just continued to surge, right? Or how many times have you seen something at a bottom and you're like, oh, this is a good entry, and then you buy at the support and it continues to drop? I mean, these are indicators that are helpful for looking at the overall probabilities, and if you can identify them very clearly, you're probably looking at the similar if you can identify them through the same perspective as an institution, then most likely you're going to get similar results. But even so, there's the most important thing you could do is actually set a perfect plan rather than a perfect timing or perfect entry. So that's what I would focus on. So I appreciate you all. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. And Ed, thanks for tuning in. Ed says, I just got the Prophecy/Mercatus early Christmas gift. Oh, let's go. I'm looking forward to working with you, Edda. And Edda, so look for your email. Let's do the onboarding here. Ed, so how you're going to do it is you're going to go to your email. There's a link. It says access to the machine. Click that link. It's going to take you to a login. You're going to go to a page that looks, I'll log out so you can kind of see what it looks like here. And you're going to go ahead and go to login when you get to this page. All right, so you come to the page, you'll click login. Oh, sorry. Let me check. Actually, you're going to click sign up, but you have to use the exact same email address that you used when you were purchasing it just a few moments ago. And then go ahead, log in, create your account, And then once you get logged or signed up, it will look something like this. You'll get logged in. Dun, 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 and you'll be in just like this. So now you can start. You're going to go ahead and just, you could search a stock. We're also integrating, if you want to ask it about like, I don't know, top electric vehicle stocks or something, it's now becoming more of like a chat where it turns into an actual chat, and the AI will actually, you'll be able to talk to it like an AI. If it works, there you go. And then you can click through and open them up from here. Boom, just like that, and get the Tesla analysis. But what you might consider doing, you can just search your favorite stock, select your favorite model that you want to roll with, or you can look at all of them. And you can either, drag one of these guys in or search your own stock. Once you get it up, you can create your list. You might see a financial widget that initially spawns. You can just X that out by going in the top right of the widget. Click here. You can set your future chart widget, an analysis widget, support and resistance is how I like to do it. And then you have pages up here that you can edit. So you just click up here. You can create a new page or have multiple tabs. Here's another one that has all the insider. This one is called the top transactor widgets. If you want to add another widget, all you do is just click the plus up here. You can add all your widgets, and then the watch list, all that good stuff, it's going to be over here. If you need to import from your Robinhood, just go ahead and click the AI. You could start a new watch list. Let's do it here, like new. I'll just do a test here. And then if I go over to my Robinhood, for example, and I have this defense watch list, for example, I might want to, take a screenshot. This is how I do it. And this is how we made it easy for members to sign up for the Prophecy app, is you'll just take a screenshot there and then you'll go over here and you'll click the AI and you'll click import watch list. And all you do is just upload the video or the photo of the screenshot of your watch list. And then in a second, it will just add all of those to your watch list here. So I probably could have named this the defense watch list. So I'll just double click here. I just call this AI defense. As you can see, I got my watch list here. Oh, that was a little bit of a glitch. Hold on. A little bit of a, there we go. All right, we're almost out of beta here. Defense. Oh, there we go. There you go. And now you got your AI defense watch list. So you could even take a screenshot from my watch list here on the screen. Here's my AI defense watch list, anything else, and you can upload it there. So when you get a chance, just look for that email. I look forward to giving you a call soon. Thanks so much for tuning in. AK says, bro, lifetime access was around $400 something. Maybe price is going higher, almost triple. Oh yeah, so you could still get access to StockMate, which just includes the lifetime access to our trading, which actually is going to be rolling into more of like a subscription soon. Which I would love to do lifetime access, but I'm there every single day, Monday through Friday, and it is recurring work. And it makes a lot of sense for us to not do lifetime access because people have been tuning in since, December of last year. And, imagine, anyway, subscription makes a lot of sense. But anyway, for a StockMate, yeah, you can get access there. That's the second link below. But if you wanted to get access again to the Prophecy app, kind of what I was just showing, Etta went ahead and she grabbed the Prophecy app. And when you unlock that, you get 6 weeks of classes, one-on-one call with myself. I can talk with you and we can go over some things. And then you also get 1 year access to this, but you also get lifetime access to the StockMate community along with the free t-shirt. And that was in the link that I sent earlier. So anyway, I'm going to pin that link if you'd like to go grab it. Yeah, of course, Adam. I'm looking forward to seeing how you get results with StockMate as well. Great, guys. Do I think Mara is underpriced? I think Mara is a little higher risk. If you're going to be investing in a company like Mara, or I saw some other companies, what was it, NUAI or some others? When you're looking at fairly high risk companies, the issue isn't that you shouldn't invest in them, but especially with like Bitcoin miners like Mara, uh, you just have to be aware that you probably don't want to allocate a large percentage of your portfolio into a stock like that. I think one of the biggest mistakes I see is not always like perfect execution of trades. People sometimes have perfect execution or they like set their plan, but that they invest in companies that have they allocate too much. But yeah, I think Mara is a good data center play, but I believe they were selling some of their shares in order to buy Bitcoin, which to me isn't the best way to serve your audience or serve your investors. Because if you think about it, like imagine that I started a crypto today. Okay, just imagine. Imagine I started a crypto. All right. What if we started a crypto for prophecy stock? We could even do this. All right. Let's just say if we were to do that, then imagine that whenever somebody bought the crypto, I just sold it so that I could get money. And whenever people bought, I would just sell and just take that equity out. Would I get rich? Yes. Would it be serving investors the best in the long term? Probably not. No. And so if you look, you want to you probably want to look at companies like Apple. So like Apple, for example, did you know that all of their profits that they make, they actually go and buy their own stock? So they almost guaranteed that their stock is going to go up, almost, right? Because whenever they make profits, they go buy their own shares of stock. Now, of course, investors could say, oh, well, I'm going to sell. But they make so much money that people can't even keep up. In fact, people keep buying the stock. And so Apple continues to roar. And so I think it's really important to consider that is that like the companies, what they do, how they serve the public is one thing, but also how they actually interact and the integrity that they have around how they manage their stock and if they sell their own shares or dilute investors or things like that is really important to keep in mind. So I would just say keep that in mind, especially with Bitcoin miners. It's been a common practice that I've seen recently. Let's see. Lift 360 says, Cade, which would be better in your opinion, Steve says, 1,000 shares of APLD or 500 APLD and the rest in IREN or Nebius? That's funny. It depends on your allocation. If it's like 1,000 shares and that's all your money, I don't think that would be very advisable. If it was splitting between Nebius, APLD, Nebius, IREN, I'm not the one to talk to about splitting between different stocks because I'm more of like a all in on one type of person. So it wasn't until really this last year or two that we started diversifying into many different stocks. Before that, I used to just like hold all my money in like Nvidia or Rocket Lab or Tesla or Apple, and I would just keep my money there and I wouldn't really do anything. And I would just trade the shorter term dips basically, right? But nowadays we have a lot more diversification. If I was starting over, I would probably start with less diversification, just like I did. So if you're starting and you're trying to grow initially, a lot of people say to buy the S&P 500, and that can be like a good percentage of your portfolio. A balanced approach might be 30% of your portfolio or something, or 35% of your portfolio in the S&P, or a similar fund. But I think we're in a day and age where the game has changed so much, and information is readily available for you to be able to capitalize on companies that are going to have much greater returns than S&P. And so then, another 30% or 40% into companies that are, more not speculative, but like power engine super growers, like, APLD, it could be one, but really Nvidia and Google and, AMD stock probably, and Microsoft. I think those are good ones. Palantir probably. But then you get into like the remainder, and you kind of split between like really high growth, slightly high risk plays. That's probably like your PBAIs, your robotics plays, some of the semiconductor markets that are just emerging, space tech markets. And then the ones that are like kind of moonshot, that's usually only making up about 5 to 10% of my portfolio. Like the ones that are like, they don't have revenue yet, but they could be big, like usually around 5 to 10%. And I will say I kind of broke that rule with quantum. I think this year we probably had about 30% of our portfolio in quantum. But that's just because of the that's really because of the sentiment more than anything, and that there was more developments than the public was had known about. And we were at the conferences, and we were seeing some firsthand things that weren't being mentioned to the public. And it's not that we weren't like insiders, but we did have some information that you could say majority hadn't gotten the word yet. And that was kind of why we allocated more than that speculative play of around 10% of the portfolio, but more like 30%. And so, yeah, hopefully that's helpful. That's kind of how I approach it normally. And yeah, hopefully that's helpful for you. Let's see. Shanto, what's going on, Shanto? I think you forgot my name. It's normal. I follow you for almost 1 year. No, I didn't forget your name. I think you changed your username, man. Doesn't your username normally say Shanto, but it says AK today? It says AK. Right now it says AK3050. I know you, Shanto. I remember you. I remember a lot of people. I can see Ben Hernandez. I definitely remember Ben. Ben says, what about SYM? Your thoughts? I like Ben, and I like SYM. Personally, I hold SYM, and I think they're a good long-term play in the robotic space, as they're doing all the back-end stuff for Walmart and others. You got Teradyne, Tesla, Rich Tech Robotics, ISRG is another big one. iRobot, some of those robotics plays. Let's see what else. Appreciate you guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. Hey guys, well, I will see you guys in the next video. Again, I just had some chamomile tea, so I'm getting super tired. Any last outlooks here before we end it? What do you think about KITT? What is KITT, Shanto? Whenever I have tea, it hits me very fast and very hard, like especially sleepy time tea. Still looking forward to your feedback on Grab stock. Grab stock. I've heard about this company so many times, but I haven't fully jumped in on this one. They're kind of like Pediasha is what it's called here, or Uber Eats. In Argentina, they have this thing called Pediasha, and they have something called Rappi, and it's just like this where they deliver food. It's the most popular. Grab is in other countries. I'm not sure which countries they're in. Singapore? Okay. Got it. How's their stock doing? $21 billion. Revenue, 873 million a quarter. 11 billion in assets. Wow. I like it. I don't know. I think their financials are very disciplined personally. Look at their revenue increase. Look at their annual revenue. They went negative net income in the billions, and then they surged, and now they're up to 2.8 billion in 2024. And then now they just turned all positive net income this past year, every quarter. So yeah, I think Grabstock has a lot of growth ahead of them. Technically, they could say they have like 100,000 employees, right? Or a million employees because they have like the quote unquote like DoorDashers, right? The people that deliver the stuff. Very interesting. Jason. Yeah, so feedback on that one. I could check the chart here and see what it looks like. I would say PE ratio is pretty high. It's actually about 10x higher than you'd like it to be if you're looking for a long-term entry. Okay. For example, like we like to look at stocks, for example, Redwire, the balance sheet, they had more money than their current market cap, right? But this company has about 5 billion in equity, but their market cap's at 21 billion. So they're kind of not in the most favorable spot financially to where their market cap is. So I like what they're doing, but they do have slight overvaluation happening, and their PE ratio is up to 252. Warren Buffett discloses in that book, I think it's called Common Sense Investing, where he looks for a PE ratio of 20. This is like basically 10 times that. But we can take a look at the stock as well. GRAB, is that the ticker? Cool. The stock here. All right, so we're watching this. We saw them break out. They're holding above the 200-day moving average. I was expecting them to do something like this. When they were here, I was expecting them to sell down. They kept going. They broke out. Now they're above the 200-day moving average. There's two ways to look at this. Sentiment continues, they continue to grow, and you see something like this where they're in a very consistent uptrend, right? Or you get the breakdown to this previous support level around $4 or less, and then Grabstock comes back down to some of these levels. So personally, I would expect them to sell back down, but again, I wasn't right last time. In fact, they continued up another 25%. But I do think that the balance of where they should be is probably right around here, $4 to $4.50. Hopefully that's helpful. Again, I didn't go extremely deep, but that's just looking at the financials, probably what I would say. Hillbone, what's going on? Hey, thanks for tuning in, man. Appreciate you. Redwire, we did go deep on Redwire earlier today, and general sentiment was bullish with the support at 650. Let's see here. Yeah, 650 support, but bullish over the next month and into the next year, anticipating fairly bullish sentiment on Redwire. What else you got going? Lunar stock, Elvis. You see Lunar holding at 11? Let's take a look. Lunar is a stock that most likely will be in the $15 to $20 range. They've got a ton of contracts recently, so I would expect them to be up there. We exited out after a trade earlier this week, and they continued up about 20%. Nearest target's at $15 a share. Planet Labs, also a similar situation where they really started to sell down and then rocketed back. But yeah, about $15 a share is actually our target for LUNR. What else you got? Appreciate you guys. Jason, thanks for tuning in. Elvis, Tony. Yeah, of course. Hopefully that's helpful for you. No problem. Awesome, guys. Hey, well, I will see you guys soon. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you'd like to tune into our daily live trading sessions, tomorrow morning we'll be there. Would love to send you a reminder for that session. It's not here on YouTube. It's actually a separate thing in StockMate. Second link below. And then the pinned link in the chat right now, that gets you 1 year access. I didn't really fully, we had someone, I think it was Etta, who just got in here on the stream for this, but we have access for all the best models in the world. Okay, you can get future projections, widgets, technical, fundamental analysis, nearest supports, resistances. You can get the top transactors. That includes a 1 year access to the machine, this Prophecy app, and you also get 6 weeks of classes, a free t-shirt, a one-on-one with me, and what's the other thing? Oh, lifetime access to StockMate. So if you're already considering joining us tomorrow morning, that's the place. Link below. Check your email if you're already in StockMate, because you may have an offer there for you. Appreciate you all, and I'll see you in the next one. If I earned your thumbs up, hit that like button. Thanks so much, guys. Biggie, Jzev, Ed, appreciate you guys. Enjoy the t-shirt, Jzev. See you in the next one. Thank you.